Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushai. Double honor to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach Yahushai. A hearty shalom to you mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to the men that may not be out there as of yet on the highways and byways, but they're working on it, getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, fasting, studying, keeping the commandments and abiding in the will of Yahweh by Shemi Yahushai. Shalom to the Akwaf out there. You have sincere Akwaf out there who reverence their husbands, who keep the commandments, and as well as the sisters that may not be married as of yet, who still abide in the will of the Lord. Peace and blessing be multiplied. Shalom to everybody on the live stream. Comment board, King Corn, James Ferris, Fisherman of Zion, Saints of the Elohim, Sons of Zion, Israelites, Susan Tillman. All right, it's a follow-up of the previous Monday Night Fire. It's Monday Night Fire, the secrets of Genesis. I believe I called this the secrets of Genesis chapter 4, and Cain and Abel. We finished Genesis, the third chapter, right? We finished Genesis, the third chapter last week. We touched on the Garden of Eden. We touched on the tree of life. We touched on the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We touched on some secrets that the church doesn't really expound on. Or when you're coming out of the world, you have some concept of what went down in the Garden of Eden and what actually happened in the book of Genesis. But our mind is to break down those strongholds. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Now let's start at 3. All right, let's kick it off with 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, in the 3rd verse. All right. It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and 3. And it reads, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds." We have to pull down strongholds. A stronghold is something that somebody uses for defense, right? If somebody's going to penetrate your city, you have fortresses or you have walls, that's your stronghold, right? Or your security. So our people's security is the thoughts that make them at ease, like Christianity, Catholicism. People trust in these things, right? People trust in false religions. People trust in the so-called white man. That's their security. That's their stronghold, right? Now we have to go to war against that. Remember, the Most High is a man of war. And like we always say, the wars always don't happen on the battlefield, right? The wars happen, right, with the spirits attacking you, these demons. The wars also happen when we go through this word, man. We break down these different doctrines. We have to go down to besiege your spiritual city, which is built up of lies of Christianity, and pull it down, man. In the ancient world, they would do that. When they went to war, they would pull down walls, man. Hey, David said in Psalms chapter 18, "By my God have I leaped over a wall." So we have to pull down these different lies pertaining right now, but tonight's topic for the book of Genesis. We pull down these strongholds, right? Let's read that again. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and 4. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal." I mean, you can't beat somebody up and expect them to get this truth. You have to spiritually beat down a doctrine, right? And then you replace that foundation with the perfect foundation, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and His truth. It says, "But mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds." So we go to war against your doctrine, right? That's why we come with swords and a helmet of salvation and a shield, and you come up with your fire and your doctrine, and we contend for the faith, right? Verse 5, "Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ." So just like in the book of Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, right? Hold on, let me get Yaradon in here, right?
Shalom.
Shalom. Just like in the book of Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, where the Lord told us to cast down idols and pull them down and burn them in the fire. We have to do that on a spiritual level now. Now we take your high exalted cross and we spiritually let you know that that's speaking about a so-called black man. We take your high-end Islam and say that that's a lie. We cast down all of your idols and bring it down, man. Anything that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Most High, like the two golden calves of Baal, right, or Molech, right, whatever it is, how they physically cast it down like Jehu, Josiah, and our fathers before them. Now we have to spiritually cast these idols down, not in the open playing field in the ancient world, but more so in your mind. All right, we have to physically go. It's like we have to spiritually go to war inside of your mind and destroy those doctrines and break down those walls, man. Right? So that's what we're required to do in these last days. That's what the Most High said. Let me get this in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Right? This Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 3. A time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. Right? Now is the time to be breaking down all of the lies, man, and breaking down the truth. You understand? Now is the time to be breaking down them strongholds and pull it down, man. Tie a rope around Islam and just pull it to the ground. And it's a time to build up. That's the just balance. We're not just going to just break everything down and leave you confounded. No, we're going to build you back up in the knowledge of the truth. That's why it's important to go back over these topics and expound upon them in a perfect manner. You have something y'all done?
It's all right. It's like it's Sirach chapter 21. Let me get this verse. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low places. Right? So Israel, they got a lot of folly in their mind, right? The folly that they set up high is different doctrines, Christianity, religion, right? These different feast days of the world, all manner of wickedness. That's folly, and they esteem it. Right. And like the brother was saying, it's our job to cast it down out of your mind, right? Break it down, tell you it's a lie and an imposter. Right? Can do nothing but harm you and your spirit. All right. So, like I said in Ecclesiastes 3, I'm going to get it again.
I'm there. I can read it for you.
Okay, come.
Ecclesiastes 3 and 3. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up.
Right. So those philosophies, false doctrines, all different types of philosophies, that's a shackle on Jake. And it's time to break it down. This is Sirach 21 and was it 19. Doctrine unto fools is as fetters on feet, and like manacles on the right hand. Right? All those doctrines, those things those are things that's holding you back from obtaining the truth, knowledge, and wisdom. And it's our job to help you out, and break it down, and basically prison break, right? Break you out of this prison, right? From these different philosophies. And I'm gonna keep saying philosophies and doctrines and anything that can, that's holding you back, basically. All right. All that folly that you set and regard, and put on a high place. All right. Like thinking your woman can rule the house, happy wife, happy life. You gotta vote, you gotta be registered to vote. All right. So imagine that, but some spiritual shackles on you, all right, on the left hand side. And that's a device to ensnare and trap Jake.
So you said, like Yarada said, these are the manacles on your mind, right? The manacles and the chains on your thoughts. Right? That's Sirach 21:19. That's the main precept. That's what the Lord said in the book of Hebrews. Before we get into it, right? Let me get this quick precept in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and 1. Right? Hebrews chapter 12 and 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. So how can you run a race if you have weights holding you down, man? Right? Don't we have to run a race? Didn't the Lord say the race is not to the swift? And you have Jake with these strongholds and these chains on him, man. All in your mind, all in your spiritual legs, man, preventing you from going to the tree of life, preventing you from going through that straight and narrow gate. Right? You got people, since we're going into Genesis chapter 4, they think Adam and Cain and Abel was the only two people on the earth, man, with Adam and his wife. So we have to go to war against the thoughts of your mind. That's what 2 Corinthians, Shalom. That's what 2 Corinthians 10 and 4 is talking about, pulling down strongholds. Joab used to pull down strongholds, actual cities, man, with King David, right? And that took effort, right? And they defeated them different cities, man, right? So we have to spiritually pull down them strongholds in your mind, man. Pull down the towers, pull down them bulwarks, man. Besiege your mind and break into it and bring in the truth, you know? So that's what this thing is about. That's why we go over Genesis. That's why we go over these topics, man. You know? So we back in Genesis chapter 4, following up where we left off, right? In the book of Genesis chapter 4. And Shalom from Malachi, Sons of Thunder, right? A Fishman of Zion, Tazmar Yahweh, that bind no world. Hello, Bunny B. It's my name, Jesus Christ. Come on now. Gotta, you know, that's a scoffer. You know, gotta get rid of these scoffers early. All right, so you know, let's get into it. Madness. We just started. You know, scoffers can't wait, man. If there was no more videos, these scoffers will lose their mind, man.
Hey, so like they'll come to find out where you stay, man.
Yeah.
Lock you down.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
where the videos at?
Right. You falling off.
And he calling you Ak.
It's when you falling off. Damn. All right, so let's deal with it. All right. Genesis chapter 4 and 1. Right? And Yah's knife info in the camp. All right. We're gonna email you, brother. We're gonna email you. You got something going on in Atlanta. All right, in the works. Right. So let's deal with it. Genesis chapter 4 and 1. So everybody again is we'll be remiss to say you need your Bible, you should have your apocrypha, you should have your notepad, your notes, a highlighter, a pen, right? We're going to dive into it.
It's Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
Right? Knew meaning he had sex with his wife. Right? For those who don't know what that means, it means doesn't mean he took her and they played speed dating and he found out her favorite this and that. Right? No, it means he has sex with her, man. And she conceived and bare Cain. You know?
And she again bare his brother, Abel. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Right, and if you know anything about the Most High raises up shepherds, man. Moses was a shepherd, right? David was a shepherd. Joseph was a shepherd. Isaac was a shepherd, right? And we're shepherds, man. Right? We're keepers of the sheep. And Esau, he's more of a tiller of the ground. He's a man of the field. You know? Let me get this real quick about us being shepherds. On a spiritual level, you may not see your flock of sheep outside, you know, trying to figure out, well, why do they say we're shepherds? I don't have any sheep. I don't have any kids and goats. Right? Why would they say that? Well, what did the Lord say? Right? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 3. Right? This Jeremiah chapter. I'll start at 1. This Jeremiah 23 and 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, said the Lord. Now, a pastor, that's an interchangeable word for a shepherd, right? Thus said the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and I have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, said the Lord. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds. That's plural. The Lord said, I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall no more fear, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, said the Lord. See that? So the Lord is raising up shepherds. We're keepers of the sheep now. We're the new Abel. All right? We feed the flock now. Then the Lord said in John 21, 15 on down. You got something y'all done?
Kind of when you done.
Go ahead, go ahead. I got a few precepts in my mind.
John, this is Ezekiel 34 and 31. And it reads this. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord God. Right? He said, look, the flock and the pasture of my flock are men. Right? So it's our job to watch over the sheep. All right. And let's get a precept real quick. All throughout the scriptures, it's our job to watch over Israel. Right? We have to be a big brother unto Israel. Doesn't it say be a father to the fatherless? Right? In Sirach, the 4th chapter, this 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 2. Feed the flock of God which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not with filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. Right? In other words, don't watch over Israel with ill intentions, right? Not wanting them best for them, teaching them false doctrine, and kind of hiding certain gems and jewels for yourself. That's you making your sheep real hungry. When they get real hungry, their bones stick out, and then they eat anything, right? They're not getting the right nourishment, when you're not feeding them. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me get a precept real quick. This is Sirach. It's like Ezekiel 34 and verse 10. Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against the shepherds, right? The shepherds on the left-hand side that don't give a damn about our people. And I will require my flock at their hand and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves anymore, for I will deliver my flock from their mouths, that they may not be meat for them. Right? And then you got shepherds on the left-hand side try to sift out Israel. All right.
That's right. That's right. So that's why Abel was a keeper of the sheep, man. Right? And that's literal. But we're giving you a parabolic explanation too. All right, on how we're able, and how we're a keeper of the sheep. All right. When you're a tiller of the ground, it means you're a man of the field. Right? That is your occupation. That is your profession. That's what you spend hours upon end doing. Working in the open field, dealing with the elements, right? Getting burnt by that sun. Speaking about Esau, right? Calluses all on your hands, smell like filth. Then the Lord say, then Isaac say, "Oh, my son Esau, you smell like the field." Right? Let me get that real quick. Right? Because you're going to find out that this Cain and Abel is really Esau and Jacob. Right? This is really Esau and Jacob, if you can understand. All right? This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 27. And it reads, and he came near and kissed him and smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is the smell of a field which the Lord had blessed. So that's why, Esau, he smelled like that wet dog,
Right.
when he come in from the rain, and what does that smell? That's that smell that Isaac smelled. Because when the Lord blessed the field, there is rain. You have the former rain and you have the latter rain, right? And in order for the field to be blessed, you have to have an increase in rain, right? And you see crops coming out with the dew all on it and that wet rain. That's what Esau smelled like, man. Like the field that the Lord had blessed. Like Cain. Cain smelled like that too. All right? A tiller of the ground, you know?
I got a precept.
Come.
It's the book of Job, chapter 24 and verse 8. They are wet with the showers of the mountains and embrace the rock for one of shelter, right? And that's twofold. That's going into Jake, right? Being wet, right? Embracing Esau for shelter and his philosophies and doctrines. But it's also saying the so-called white man. They wet with the showers of the mountains, man, because they cavemen and cave dwellers, right? And it says they pluck the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge for the poor. And that's who else is that? Like the brother going into a Genesis 27 and 27, right? It's talking about Cain.
That's right. That's right. So we back in the book of Genesis, right? Chapter 4. All right. Genesis chapter 4 and verse, let's read 2 again.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Right.
And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very rough, and his countenance fell.
Right. So going back to verse 3, it says, in process of time, it came to pass. What does it mean in process of time? Right? Meaning now it's time to make an atonement for your sins. Right? Now it's time. We're jumping in the future. And a process of time, meaning in the distant future. Right? That Abel and Cain, now they have to make an atonement for sin. That's why they're bringing an offering. Who taught them how to bring an offering? We covered that in Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Right? Let me go back and recap that real quick. In Genesis chapter 3, and I'll read verse 21. Right? Genesis chapter 3 and 21. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skin and clothe them. So that coats of skin is dealing with the concept of making atonement for sin via animal sacrifice. Our fathers was naked, right? And our foremother was naked, meaning in sin. The Lord took away their fig leaves and aprons and stripped them of that and said, put this on instead. And he gave them like a mink, right? You know, my great grandmother had a whole bunch of minks in her closet, about 1,000 of them back in the day. I don't know where she got them from, but she had them, you know. And then the minks, they'll cover your whole garment, man. They'll cover your whole body from head to toe. So there's no amount of you being exposed in sin, you know. That same garment was a hand-me-down given to Adam, and it fit them. It fit Cain, and it fit Abel. All right, that's what it means when they brought an offering. I got a precept real quick, right?
I got one.
Going after you.
Con.
Going after Brian.
All right, this is the book of Leviticus. All right. Actually, I'll go to Numbers. I'll do Numbers. Right, you can go to both, but I'll do Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 17. Right, here's the commandment that Abel kept, that Cain didn't keep. The Lord told him specifically, "This is how I want it done." Cain went and did things his own way. And Abel said, I'm going to follow the way of the Lord. Cain said, man, forget the Lord. He better take this. I'm Cain. Right? Proud. This Numbers chapter 18 and 17. And it reads, but the firstling of a cow, or the firstling of a sheep, or the firstling of a goat, thou shalt not redeem. They are holy. Thou shalt sprinkle their blood upon the altar, and shall burn their fat for an offering made by fire for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the flesh of them shall be thine, as the wave breast and as the right shoulder are thine. So that's the offering that Abel did. Remember, Abel was a keeper of the sheep, so he offered up the animal sacrifice and the fat thereof, right? That same law that Abel kept, it was given to Moses to give unto the Levitical priesthood and the children of Israel.
All right. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 4 and verse 4. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head and kill the bullock before the Lord. So it ain't say nothing about vegetables, man. It ain't say nothing about going getting tomatoes and damn greens, man. Right? So Abel knew the law and he kept it. Right? Cain didn't have respect unto the Lord and the laws. That's why he did what he did. He was contrary to righteousness, man.
All right. That's right.
This
Go ahead.
is Proverbs 15 and 8. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. Right? The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loveth him that followeth after righteousness. Right? So when we read Genesis, the 4th chapter, what we just read is an account of Abel following after the Lord, right? Following after righteousness. He was keeping the law, statutes, commandments, right? However, his brother Cain, Cain was going off big time, right? Like he didn't give a damn at all. He wanted to do things his way. That's why the Lord is not having delight and pleasure in Cain's sacrifice. There's one more to Sirach 35 and 4.
I'm gonna go there.
Hey, that's the spirit. Thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord. Right? Now he brought something before the Lord, but it wasn't right. So he basically appeared empty before the Lord.
Right.
And being in the truth, you can't come empty before the Lord. He gave you a task and duty, right? To till the ground, watch over man. But if you're not doing that, you just showing up. Well, you're not doing nothing, right? You're not bringing nothing back to the Lord. Like it's saying, Songs of Solomon, he told the workers to work in the vineyard and give something back to him, right? But if you're not doing that, you just look like an a-hole. You got it.
And I was going to say too, hey, Cain, you know, the mind of Cain, since we know the so-called white man, we know the mind of Cain, right? Probably said, man, look, hey, I don't need to make atonement for my sin, man. I don't go off. I'm Cain. I'm always on point. All right. Lord can take this. The Lord better take this. That's Cain right there, man. And if not, we're gonna fight. We're gonna duke it out. You know, when I was in school, man, when I first came into the truth, hey, I had a so-called roommate, man. And he told me he wanted to fight the Most High one-on-one. Proud. He said, I want to fight your God one-on-one. You know, I used to be going over the scriptures out loud about the fire and the destruction. He used to say, I want to fight your volcano God one-on-one. Right? Proud, man. That's Cain. Right? And I told him, I said, don't worry. Don't worry, you'll get your day. You know? But let me read this real quick now. Yeah, that's wicked, man. He said, I want to fight your God one-on-one. That is proud. And he was a Hamite. I didn't have to say that, but he was a Hamite. Yeah. You know, them Nigerians, man, them Hamite Nigerians. You got some Israelites in Nigeria, but them Hamitic Nigerians, man. You know? This Sirach, the 35th chapter, I'm gonna read the 6th verse. Sirach chapter 35 and 6. The offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. Give the Lord his honor with a good eye, and diminish not the first fruits of his hands. So Cain didn't want to get the Lord his honor, man. You know, he sold the Lord short. Not only is this for the Lord, but this is for atonement for his sin. Right? Verse 9, Sirach 35 and 9. And all thy gifts show a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness. So when Abel did his offering, Abel was excited. Oh man, here you go, Lord. Smiling. Cain threw it at the altar and probably spit on the altar and left, man. You know, Cain, man, probably just threw it, man, and kept it moving. You know? It says madness, man. Right? Oh, hold on, I'm gonna jump down to 12, Sirach 35 and 12. Do not think to corrupt with gifts, for such he will not receive. And trust not to unrighteous sacrifices, for the Lord is judge, and with him is no respect of persons. So let's see if the Lord get on Cain, simply because he's the son of Adam. He might say, well, look, that's the son of Adam. I'm not going to get on him. Let's find out. Listen, brother, you had a precept, King?
I got one. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 34 and verse 18. He that sacrificed of a thing wrongfully gotten is an offering of ridiculousness, and the gifts of unjust men are not accepted. The Most High is not pleased with the offerings of the wicked, neither is he pacified for sin by the multitude of sacrifices, man. So the Lord not dealing with these sacrifices, man. He's not dealing with these unjust dealings like the brother was bringing out. Like he probably threw it, right? He knew it was wrong because he knew the law. If he didn't know the law and didn't know that was wrong, he wouldn't have been offering up anything to begin with.
That's right. Yeah. And remember in the book of Numbers, the Lord smote the sons of Aaron, man. These was the sons of Aaron, right? Who went off on a sacrifice. He smote them. They offered strange fire to the Lord. They put the incense inside the. They was doing their own thing. Guess what happened? The fire came out and consumed them. Now those are the sons of Aaron, man. How much more Cain? Is the Lord going to respect Cain's offering? It said no. Right? So let's go back to that.
This Genesis chapter 4, verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Now check this out. Cain was mad that he did the wrong thing on purpose and got mad. Imagine that. We asked Yaradan, can you pick up a gallon of milk? Yaradan comes back with swine's flesh. And we say, Yaradan, what are you doing? We asked you for a gallon of milk. Don't ever bring back swine's flesh. And he get mad at us like we did something wrong. He get belligerent. It don't say Cain was wroth. It says Cain was very wroth. Let's look up this word wroth. He's insane. Right? Let's see what this word wrath means. Because a lot of people don't say that, man. That's where you get the word wrath from. Right? So this word wrath, right? Bear with me. We're going to pull this up on the screen. All right, we're going to pull this up on the screen. This word wrath, it means intensely angry, highly incensed, wrathful. So Cain was very full of wrath. All right, now this word wrathful, all right, arise from, marked by, or indicative of wrath. Certain synonyms, ballistic, right? Cain went ballistic when the Lord checked him, man. Foaming, he was foaming at the mouth, furious, right? Hey, this man Cain, man, outraged, livid, right? All because he went off, man. Imagine that. You know?
That's all.
So we can go back to it, man. This man was irate. Right? Let's read that again. Cain. Genesis 4 and 5.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Right, like somebody say it's probably knocking stuff off, knocking stuff over, kicking Abel's sheep, spitting on the altar, urinating on Abel's stuff, giving him the finger, throwing rocks at the altar, cussing out the Most High, looking his mother up and down. You know? So we can go on.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 6. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
What you mad for? Right? That's what that means. Go on.
If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
Now, so like it says, his countenance fell, meaning Cain had his lip puffed out. You know how children like this, poking his lip out? Yeah, and throwing a fit. That's what it means, his countenance fell, man. He had that frown, that upside down frown all day, man. You know? Now the Lord, let's read that again, verse 7, Genesis chapter 4 and 7.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
Right. The Lord said, hey, if you do well, you'll be accepted. All you have to do, this is the opportunity to repent. The Lord has given him an opportunity to repent. All right. Now, this is not the Lord actually coming down. These are the servants of the Lord. These are prophets. Right. Remember, the Lord is not coming down off his throne to talk to you, man. The Lord rebukes you through the prophets, right? So this is the voice of the Lord, or the word of the Lord came into this man, the God of prophet, and telling Cain, look, hey, if you do right, you'll be accepted. Do the animal sacrifice the way that the Lord taught you through Adam, and you'll be fine. Now, if you don't want to do that, there's another option, right? Sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. What does it mean, sin lieth at the door? What is the door? Your mind, right? And the Lord foresaw the evil spirit Satan ready to take over Cain. Right? Let's get the door, Revelation chapter 3 and 20.
Okay.
Right?
This
Don't
Revelation.
Yahweh laugh at the door, right? If we do right, don't Yahweh laugh at the door if we open unto him, if we repent and humble down, isn't Yahweh outside knocking ready to come in? Right? What about on the left-hand side? There's another door too. Right? So if you don't want to accept the will of the Most High, you want to do your own thing. Hey, Satan, he at the door too. That's where you get that concept of, you know, when somebody talking and they got the angel on one shoulder and they got the devil on another shoulder, and both of them are outside their mind, influencing them to make a good or bad decision. You know, they show you that in the Flintstones and all them old cartoons, man. Where did they get that from? From the Bible. Because Yahweh Shah stands on the right-hand side, ready to come into your mind, and Satan stands at the left-hand side, ready to come into your mind. You know? So let's read that in Revelation. What was that, 3 and 20? And that's a song to Solomon in the 5th chapter.
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. And it reads this: Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me.
Right? So Yahweh Shah stands at the door and knocks, meaning he's outside of your mind, ready to enter into your spirit and sup with you. Sup with you, meaning feed you with bread, milk, wine, oil, and all manner of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right? So the Lord is always ready to give you the things to sustain your spirit and keep you alive in this dry and thirsty land. You know, so the door is your mind, and the Lord knocks. How does the Lord, when you knock, you make a sound, right? What is the sound? The prophets, right? The servants of the Lord, the teachers. That's them knocking at your door. That's why brothers, when they walk past, they kind of stop and they want to hear the word because they open up the door, right? Meaning their ears, so the Lord can come to their mind. You know?
I got a precept. It's the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 9. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, right? And shall go in and out and find pasture. So straight up and down, Yahweh Shah said, I am the door, right? Meaning he is the way, man, right? He is the pathway. He is the door to enter in to get everlasting life and salvation.
That's right. That's right. Good precept. I want to put that word. Now look, check this out. We got this word door. We pull it up in the Greek, right? Bear with us. We're gonna pull this up in the Greek, out the blue letter. This word door, right? And it's good to go to the Greek. It's good to go into the Hebrew, right? You'll expound upon knowledge.
Strong's G 2374. Thura.
So that word for door is thura. Now it says a door, a vestibule. For those that don't know what a vestibule is, we'll pull that up real quick. Right? A door or a vestibule. Right? Bear with me. We'll pull this up. Right? So this is a vestibule right here. Right? An entrance. All right? So a door or a vestibule used of any opening like a door, an entrance, or a way or passage into, like where I was going into. Right? It says also in a parable or metaphor, the door through which sheep go in and out, the name of him who brings salvation to those who follow his guidance. All right, so they're not too far off. All right, the door of the kingdom of heaven, like unto a palace. Right, the Lord had many mansions, or has many mansions, denotes the conditions which must be complied with in order to receive into the kingdom of God. will be received into the kingdom. Right? And check this out. Torah also means a portal. Right? So the way to get to this kingdom is through the Yahweh Shai. He's that portal, he's that door. Right? Now the Lord, the portal of your mind, what's the opening of your mind? Your ears. Right? And the Lord got to come through there and sup with you, man. You know? Even when you look up the kind of the layout of like the anatomy of like the ear is like a canal, you know, and it's like a door pathway to get to your mind, you know. So let's bring let me get this precept of Song of Solomon, 5th chapter. All right, quick precept. So when the Lord told Cain, he standeth at the door, sin standeth at the door, right? It's speaking about Satan is out there ready for you, man. Right? This Songs of Solomon, bear with me. I'm gonna go to the 5th chapter. I'm gonna read the 2nd verse. All right, Songs of Solomon, chapter 5 and 2. And it reads, I sleep, but my heart waketh. It is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, and my locks with the drops of the night. So you were asleep in the world and all manner of lies, but all of a sudden you heard Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15, right? Or you open up the scriptures and the spirit start working with you. Who's doing that? Yahweh Shai. He said, open to me. Let me guide you and bring you into the knowledge of Yahweh himself, man. All right. And now he's not coming empty handed. He's coming in soaking wet. That's what it means when it says, for my head is filled with dew and my locks with the drops of the night. So Yahweh Shai got locks, right? And his head is filled with dew. He coming in with living water. We'll put it like that. Right? And he's coming from the heavens, because heavens in the Hebrew means waters, Maya. You know, or we say Shemaya, meaning from the waters or pertaining to the waters. So he's coming from the 3rd heaven, right? Meaning the waters. That's why he's wet, but also living waters. Now I'm gonna jump down. No, that's it on that. All right, we don't gotta go down. All right, so we can go back to Genesis chapter 4. Right? The Lord told Cain, all you have to do is the right thing and you'll be accepted. If not, sin lieth at the door, and into thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over. Meaning Satan will rule over you. And Salakius, this choice wasn't just given to Cain. This choice is given to you every day. Every day. Hey, you wake up in the morning. If you do well, you'll be accepted. You'll make it to the kingdom. If not, when you begin to fall short and sin, don't you know Satan is ready right there to pounce on you like a roaring lion, hunting you down, stalking you? Hey, lions don't just randomly stumble across prey. They stalk them. They watch them. They follow whole herds. Satan is watching you. And the Lord is seeing that, man. So the Lord therefore gives you the opportunity to do well. But if not, he'll give you over to your own wickedness. You know? So don't think this is just during the time of Adam and Eve. This choice is given to you every day. This was given to Israel in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. Right? Let me get that real quick in Deuteronomy 30, where the Lord told them to choose life. You know? This the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 19. Right? Deuteronomy 30 and 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. You see that? That's the main precept. Somebody pull Colossians 4 and 3. Withal praying also for us, that the Most High will open unto us a door of utterance to speak the mystery of Hamashiach, for which I am also in bonds. See that? All right. We can go on.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. I'm going to say,
Right.
he talked with Abel. He probably saying, check this out. I need some help. You mind, looking at this real quick? That sly mentality. Like it was that verse, I can't remember. Brothers know. Or the book where the brother took the brother by his beard and kind of smote him in the rib. I think under his third rib cage.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
Joel,
That's that
Martyr and Abel.
That's that mentality, Cain was moving with. Check this out. I want to talk to you for a second. All right. So like you got it.
I want to go to the book of Job chapter 20 and 12. Because like Yaradan is going into, it's not going to give you the detail of the conversation. Right? Remember, Genesis is more of a broad or just an overall summary of how things transpire. But as you begin to read, the Most High shows you that these things happen over and over again, but they're worded different ways. All right. And the nature of Cain, as we will begin to break down, is the nature of the so-called white man. All right. Because the same spirit that ruled over Cain is the same spirit that rules over the beast. All right. Now I'm gonna get this in Job chapter 12. It's like I wanted Job chapter 20 and 12. All right, let me get the book of Job chapter 20 and 12. It reads, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. Right? So when something's sweet in order for it to get to your mouth, you have to consume it. In order for you to consume it, you must desire it and want it. Right? So the words of knowledge is in our mouth because we consume and desire it. Therefore, the Lord gave it to us by feeding it to us. Who fed Esau his wickedness in his mouth? Where did he get this from? And why does it taste so good to him to be wicked, like honey? Why does it taste so good for Cain to be evil? Who fed him this? Hey, his father, right? His father, the devil, right? So wickedness is sweet in the mouth of Cain because he desired it, though he hide it under his tongue. So when you approach the so-called white man, hey, Yaradan, hey, pal. Hey, how's your day going? Oh man, did you check out the game? Hey, he's hiding that wickedness under his tongue. Got another quick precept. It's classic. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 26 and 25. Right? Let's get this out the book of Proverbs, chapter 26 and 25. I'm gonna start at 24. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe it not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart, whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be shown before the whole congregation. You see that? So when he speak fair, don't believe it, man. There are 7 abominations. So when Cain talked to Esau, he was thinking about how to destroy him, man. Right? How to steal, how to murder him, how to take his garment from him, steal his sheep, probably eat his body, right? All manner kill Eve, his mother, right? You see that? So don't trust the so-called white man. That's what the Lord is telling you, man.
Yeah, precept. Book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 5. It say, a man that flattereth his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet. Right? So if you flattering and seducing and getting drawn in, that's a damn net at your feet, man. I mean, you're gonna be overcame and subdued, man. Right? Through the flattery of your lips.
That's right. Hey, here go the other classic. It's Psalms chapter 140 and verse 1. Right? Psalms chapter 140 and 1. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. Abel was probably, now we don't know the thoughts of Abel, but we do know Abel had discernment. And Abel was probably like, it may go down. He didn't know how it would go down. You know, it says, which imagine mischiefs in their hearts. Continually are they gathered together for war. So while Esau is talking to you, he's thinking about war, captivity, slavery, and he's imagining mischief in his mind. Don't the Lord say that in Micah chapter 2 and Proverbs chapter 4? Right? Let me get this in Proverbs chapter 4 real quick. The Lord said they sleep not, right? Lest they get some man to fall. It's Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil man. So don't follow what Cain did. Don't follow Esau. That's what the Lord is telling you. Now, does it say don't follow Cain right here? No. But we know that Cain went the hell off. So don't follow the way of evil men. It says, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. So sometimes, Jake, you can't get a good night rest unless you eat your favorite meal, or unless you stretch before you go to bed or take that hot shower. You're able to catch up on some Z's. The only reason that Cain and the so-called white man can go to sleep unless they kill somebody, bomb a hospital, drink baby blood, rape a young girl. Then they can get a good night rest. You know? So that's what we dealing with.
You read Micah 2?
La'ad, you got it.
It's the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity, right? And work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. So like the brother said, man, they can't get a good night's sleep. They sitting there pondering on their bed all night long like this. How am I going to overthrow Jake, right? Thinking of a damn master plan and wickedness, right? Because it is in the power of their hand. Now, who runs the earth, right? Who has the power to overthrow hospitals, to make up damn serums and push vaccines, right? They covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage, right? So if this is not the so-called white man, I don't know what is, man. If this is not Cain, I don't know what is, man. It said they oppress, right? Even a man and his heritage. So your whole heritage is going to be oppressed by this man, by thinking nothing but iniquity and sin upon his bed.
That's right. This yeah, that's what you was quoting. This 2 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 8. 2 Samuel 20 and 8. When they were at the great stone, which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them. Now, Amasa, he was the one that he wanted to unify the house of Saul and the house of David, right? And David proposed in his heart to make Amasa the top general and the captain of the host over Joab. So Joab didn't want that power struggle. So let's see what Joab did to Amasa. So his spot wasn't taken. Joab did a lot of off stuff, man. Right? It says Amasa went before them, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded unto him, and upon it a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins, and the sheath thereof. And as he went forth, it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, art thou in health, my brother? Right? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him. But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand. So he smote him therewith in the 5th rib, and shut out his bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued after Sheba, the son of Bichri. Now, hey, that could have went down, man, in the book of Genesis chapter 4. Art thou in good health, my brother? Abel had a beard. Man took Abel by his beard to smote him under the 5th rib, man, or in his back. Joab was off, man. Right, so let's go back to the book of Genesis.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with these slick
Breaking up a little.
like the Lord said.
What?
It's a lot of slick and trickery. I said you gotta be careful with these slick people. It's a lot of slick and trickery going on, man.
Yeah. Tell you that in the book of Sirach, man, about the man that hangeth his head deceitfully.
Right.
Yeah. Let me get that real quick.
Some crept in unawares.
God.
Or in the book of Jude.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 27, and I'll read verse 22. He that winketh with the eyes worketh evil, and he that knoweth him will depart from him. When thou art present, he will speak sweetly, and will admire thy words. But at the last, he will writhe his mouth and slander thy sayings. Man, Ron, you brought it out, man. Hey, that was a good precept, was that, brother? Hey, brother, hey, man, brother diligent, brother, you doing your thing, man. Then as soon as I leave, or Ryan leave, man, F for Ryan, man. Right? The brother always think he could pull the precept. Right? Brother necklace think is better than mine. Right? The brother get to be the brother. I don't know, whatever people make up, man.
Right. Just evil.
Yeah. You know, Jake, they'll come up with something, man.
Always.
Right?
Always.
Jake can come, the brother staff. You
Think
know.
his staff's better than mine.
Yeah, Jake, man.
Come
You
on,
know.
let me bring this
Now,
up.
hold on, there's a little more than that.
Come on, you got
It
it.
says he was slandered thy saying, I have hated many things, but nothing like him. For the Lord will hate him. The Lord said, I've hated many things, but nothing like this dude. Sirach said that because he know the Most High going to hate him. You know?
All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 19, and verse 26. There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly, right? Like, meaning like, hey man, like something always going on with the brother. He wants some comfort. Are you okay? You need some money? What's going on? Right? What you need, brother? They're just looking for damn attention, man. Right? It's a lot of people like that in this truth. There is a wicked man that hangeth down his head sadly, but inwardly he is full of deceit. Right? Say, casting down his countenance and making as if he had heard not, where he is not known, he will do thee a mischief before thou be aware. And he gonna overthrow you, man. Right? He hanging down his head sadly, right? In old time, he thinking while he looking down in ways to overthrow you, man.
That's right. That's right. You gotta watch out for that. That's that. Oh, you got something.
We was teaching one day in Greek town. It was me, Devin, and I think Malachi. All right, we was going to bringing it out through the spirit. And this Edomite, he didn't like what we was saying, what the Lord had to say. All right, so he kept walking back and forth. He said, "What, you talking about my mother like that?" He was a Jake, actually. He might have been an Edomite. All right, he might have been an Edomite. He going back and forth. He got cut up. Like the third or fourth time he walked back, he had his head down real low, kind of drooping down. And he did that, slapped the Bible out the brother's hand. And then we charged him on one accord and brought him afar off into the streets. And you had a herd of Jakes, just all police Jake, wearing brown uniforms. We literally just tossed him into their hands, and they grabbed him up and they kept it moving. So there was some angels more than likely, because we just looked down that way and nobody was there. It was dead that day, and all you see was a whole bunch of Jake cops, like 7, and they was moving in formation, and they grabbed him up and said, "All right, you coming with us." It happened real swift too, and then brought out the word for the rest of the day.
All praises to the Most High. See
That's
that?
Esau for me.
Right, you gotta watch them brothers, man. Man, I don't have no friend, man. Can I just kick it at your crib, man? My mom put me out, man. Can I just crash it just for 2 days? You get to the brother crib, the brother go to sleep, and you up walking around. The brother walking around, and while you wait till you go to sleep, now he walking around. You hear footsteps, drawers opening. Oh, then you catch him. Oh, brother, I was just looking for the battery, brother, for the remote. You know? Then he go back to sleep, then you hear more footsteps. Then he invite people over. Right? Now you got now it's an armed robbery. All of a sudden it's an armed robbery. Right? Now it's 4 people coming in and they robbed you, man. And now you trying to figure out how did this happen. Well, the guy came in there and set you up, man. You know? You gotta watch out for these things, man. Let me get this precept real quick, man. This 2 Samuel chapter 14 and verse 5. Right? 2 Samuel 14 and 5. And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and my husband is dead. And thy handmaid had 2 sons. Right now, this is going into Cain and Abel, right? And that because this account actually never happened. These were words given to her by Joab, right? And thy handmaid had 2 sons, and they 2 strove together in the field, and there was none to part them, but the one smote the other and slew him. And behold, the whole family is risen up against thine handmaid. And they said, deliver him that smote his brother, and we may kill him for the life of his brother whom he slew. And we will destroy the heir also. And so they shall quench my coal which is left, and shall not leave to my husband neither name nor remainder upon the earth. So you had this murder happened. Then you had these men that were called the revengers of blood, who wanted to slay the man that murdered his brother. Right? We're going to read about that in Genesis chapter 4. All right, so let's go back to Genesis chapter 4. Let's read that verse we read again.
It's Genesis chapter 4, verse 9. We want 8.
Let's read 8 again.
And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him.
Right?
And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel, thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Right? So, you know, that's Cain right there, man. He said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? That's an evil man. Right? But go ahead, Yarden.
It's like it, and Jake got to keep in mind, Israel got to keep this in mind that, you know, this is the prophets of the Lord, right? Where's Abel? I don't know. You asking the wrong person.
Right.
Probably see you asking the wrong nigga. All right. Am I my brother's keeper? I
Right.
always got to watch him. Huh? Now he kind of grilling up because he know what he did was wrong.
Yeah. You know, when you really check somebody, man, with something, they'll get real defensive. Especially when they committed that act, man. They'll kind of play that role. And remember, Cain was rough, man. I don't know, Abel, man. I'm not my brother. You are your brother's keeper, man. Right? That's why I said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? That's like saying you catch your brother eating pork. You say, brother, what are you eating? Right? Why are you eating that pork? He said, what? Am I not supposed to eat pork? Right? What I can't eat shrimp? Now the brother knew the law. He been in the truth. You catch him eating pork. Now I say, what, I can't eat bacon? That's Cain. Because what is he getting this concept of his brother's keeper from? Let me get 1 John real quick. Look at this quick precept.
I got a precept about
Come on. Quick precept. This 1 John chapter 3. Right? Bear with me. I'm gonna read 11. Right? This 1 John chapter 3 and 11. And it reads, for this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Right? So that's the commandment, that we should love one another, man. Right? From the beginning. That's the first commandment that Adam taught Cain and Abel. All right? Reading on. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, meaning he was of Satan, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Meaning, why did Cain kill Abel? Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. Right? I'm going to jump to 15. Whosoever hateth his brother, Salakia, is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him. Right? So Cain killed Abel because he was envious of him.
Right. It's Genesis 4 and 9. It said, the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? Right? Hey, straight up and down, you go to Proverbs 27 and 23. Be diligent to know the state of thy flock and look well to thy herds, man. So you got to look well to the herds. That's his brother. That's his family. You're supposed to be a shepherd. You're supposed to take care of the flock, man. Yeah, you're your brother's keeper. When your brother fall off, he kind of strand off, all hell kind of breaking loose. Yeah, you're supposed to be his keeper. You're supposed to direct him in the right path of righteousness, man. And he was going off, right? Because we the sheep. And he didn't want to look well to the herds.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You got to be your brother's keeper, Israel. Right? That's what the law says. What? In Leviticus 19. And that word keeper, when you look it up, it means to be a watchman. to watch, right? That's what that word means. Or shawamaria, watchman, right? So you have to be your brother's watchman, man. As much as you're a watchman to protect in an ancient world, you know, a city from impending danger, you're supposed and men that are watchmen, they see things afar off. They don't wait till danger creeps up at the door of the city to alert the people. So a man that's a watchman, he has to be circumspect, man. He has to see impending danger and demons approaching his brother. He has to watch his brother on a physical level. He has to watch his brother's mentality on a spiritual level, right? So that's what it means to be your brother's keeper, man. You have to protect that brother, man. That's what a keeper is. You protect something. When you have a keeper of the safe, their job is to protect that safe, even if they got to die for it, man. Right? That's what the Lord said. There is no greater love than a man that laid down his life for his friends. Right? Because that's the ultimate keeper. The ultimate keeper or watchman, somebody, look, they the last ones to leave the city. Look, danger's coming, danger coming. Everybody leave the city. Guess who the last one there? The watchman. They gotta stay there. Rather, it's 5,000 people coming and there's only 3 of them. They picking up their sword and shield, and they brother's keeper till death. That's what it means, and my brother's keeper, right? Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Here's the law that they heard from the beginning. And it reads, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. And if that commandment was taught in a so-called black, that alone was taught in the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American community, hey, Israel will fare a lot better than they doing now, man. You know how much crime and wickedness is rooted off of hate and envy and the bearing of grudges, gang warfare that's been going on since the damn 60s, man. Over grudges, perpetual grudges. He killed my cousin, I killed his cousin, man. Forever in the day, man. Simply with that commandment alone, right? So you have to be your brother's keeper, man. And if you're not your brother's keeper, you're going off. The camp is called Watchman for Israel. Every brother is a watchman, though, man. Every brother, you should know that you're a watchman. You're a watchman for your nation. You're a watchman for your brother. You're a watchman for Israel, for this nation, man. You know? So we can go back to that, man. That's what that word keeper means. Right? And I believe that's that same word in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, when Adam was a dresser of the garden to dress it, to keep it. Right? You have to be a keeper in this thing, man. All right, I got a quick precept, Salaki, dealing with this love, man. Jake, you gotta know what brotherly love is, man. Then the Lord said, Hebrews 13:1, let brotherly love continue. And then the Lord charged you and warned you. He said, you better let it continue, because sometimes you might be dealing with an angel. You know, the Lord kind of got to throw that in there, man, because Jake is wicked, man. And the only reason Jake do love his brother, because they might think it's an angel.
Yeah.
So Jake is off, man. That's why the Lord put that in there, man. You know, this John chapter 15. Right? This is John chapter 15 and verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Right? Greater love hath no man than this, than a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. Right? So that's the greatest love right there, man. Laying down your life for your friends. All right? And love is the keeping of the commandments. So all we got to do is show our brothers, thus saith the Lord, and then you will fare well, man, in this thing.
I got a quick precept too, going into what the brother said, because you never know what's going on, man. Right? Could be an angel unaware, right? You could be offending one of the little ones. The Lord said you might as well wrap a damn millstone around your neck, man, and get put to death. You never know who you offending. You could be offending Peter back on the earth, right? One of the elect, right? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 25, and I'm gonna start at verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, and so much as ye have done it unto one of these least of my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Right? So the littlest of things you do, you're doing it to the Lord, man. That's real brotherly love, man. Right? We made in the image of Yahweh by Yahweh Shah. And we got to treat one another just like the Lord treated the brethren, man, and gave his life for him.
That's right. That's right. Right. And the brother put the precept and Hebrews 13:2, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, but thereby some have entertained angels unawares. All right. Like the brother was saying, sometimes you're dealing with an angel, you know, and you got to know these things, man. Not every brother you meet is an actual flesh and blood brother, man. All right. I got a quick precept real quick. This 2 Samuel, right? I believe it's chapter 1, right? Let's go to 2 Samuel, the first chapter, in verse 25. This 2 Samuel chapter 1 to 25. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle? O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thine high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of woman. So, hey, Jonathan, man, because, hey, if a woman show you love, man, Jake, it's hard to put that in words, man. You know, that's a feeling it's hard to kind of expound upon. The love of a woman. But Jonathan loved towards David. Jonathan stripped naked and gave David his clothes, man. So he had his undergarment on. And gave David his shield and his buckler, man. Gave him everything, man. You know? So you got to have that. It's important to read these accounts, man. Stop just reading the book of John. And read 2 Samuel, read 1 Samuel, and see how we're supposed to love one another. Hey, Abraham, when they took Lot captive, Abraham said, what the hell? Let me go get my brother back, man. Right? And he went to go kill to get his brother back, man. And laid down his life for his brother, man. He didn't give a damn who it was, man. He took 318 men, so it's time to go get Lot back. So Abraham was keeping that commandment, man. You know?
Hey, Tobit was not sleeping till he buried damn near all of Israel. I'm not going to rest until I bury that brother. I have to give him a proper burial. If I don't, I'm not sleeping that good at night. You know?
Right.
He stopped eating. He stopped eating. Hold up. He was eating. Hold up.
It was a feast day.
Let's go do something. Yeah. And he said, any brother that's mindful of the Lord, bring him here. Bring him here. I may not know him, but if he's mindful of the Lord, of course, prove him at that moment. But if he's mindful of the Lord, bring him in here. Tell him we got a plate for you, you know?
Yeah. That's some love right there, man. Hey, and this is written for, not just the prophecies are written for your learning, not just the in-depth breakdowns on how to love one another, man. Even in Israel, you got brothers that beef, he not in my camp. I hate that nigga, man. They be like, man, the Most High destroy you and kill you because you're not part of my camp. And they throw curses, man. I've heard brothers say, I'm going to drink to your death. They say you are definitely not part of the elect. You know? I had an elder tell me, they said, you're that guy knocked, he's definitely not one of the elect. Right? I had brothers.
What did he say?
What did he say? He said, they told me, he said, I'm definitely, for sure that me said, I'm definitely not one of the elect. I mean, I don't know if I'm part of the elect or not, I'm trying, right? But you can't put curses on brothers, man. All right, let me get this quick precept real quick, man. Israel got to stop, man, with this madness, man.
Brothers be just jealous, man. Brothers just hating on brothers for no reason, man.
Yeah, Jake, you gotta stop hating on each other too, man.
That's ridiculous.
This Job chapter 31 and verse. Oh man, this whole thing is mean.
Yeah,
man, it's mean. This is a mean thing right here. It's hot fire. All right, this Job 31. I'm gonna start at 13. All right, now Job, the 31st chapter is about integrity. Right, if you don't know what integrity is, you gotta look it up. All right, Job 31 and 13. All right, we might pull up the definition for you. All right, it reads, if I did despise the cause of my manservant or my maidservant when they contended with me, what then shall I do when the Most High riseth up? And when he visiteth, what shall I answer him? Did not he that made me in the womb make him? Right, man, you look, you may have a man that's under you, right? Or a man of your acquaintance, and you hate him, hey, and you getting on him, hey, what is the Most High going to do to you? Read about that in the book of Matthew, the 18th chapter. It says, if I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail. And Jake, they'll do that, man. They'll see that brother poor out there destitute. Let him get it, man. Right? He got to earn it. He should have went to college. Get a job. He's a bum, right? Hey, look, you're not going to make it, man. You're commanded pursuant to Deuteronomy, the 15th chapter, the 7th and the 8th verse, to stretch out your hand to the poor of our people. All right? It says, or have eaten my morsel myself alone, and the fatherless have not eaten thereof. So you got a big meal, like Tobit had a big meal, but Tobit wasn't going to eat his morsel alone because the fatherless had to eat. The poor of his people had to eat. And that's spiritual too, man. You've acquired all of this morsel, all of this knowledge and wisdom, right? You're going to eat it alone, and you're not sharing it. You're not going out and giving these talents out, man. So it's twofold, right? A little more on that, verse 18. For from my youth he was brought up with me as with the father, and I have guided her from my mother's womb. If I have seen any perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warmed with the fleece of my sheep. I know certain brothers still carry extra jackets, man, and they coat. And they call to the poor, the people, man. They may have an extra coat, they'll buy it, not for themselves, but they might see the poor of our people that may need it, man. They might carry extra snacks in the car, you know, just in case they stumble across the poor of our people. An extra case of water, right? So it's good to do that, man. All right. It says in verse 20, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warmed with the fleece of my sheep, if I have lifted up my hand against the fatherless, when I saw my help in the gate, then let my arm fall from my shoulder blade, and mine arm be broken from the bone. Oh, that's not the point I wanted. I wanted, I'm going to jump down to 20. Hold on, I'm going to read the next verse. Right, this is my favorite verse in the scriptures right here. For destruction from the Most High was a terror to me, and by reason of his highness I cannot endure. Right, because his fear from the Most High was so great. Verse 29. If I rejoiced at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found him, now that have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to his soul. You see that? So you can't rejoice at the downfall of your enemy, man. Speaking about the enemy of your people. All right. That brother got fired from that job in another camp. Yeah, I know that nigga was wicked, man. Right? Because he don't follow the Friday night to Saturday night Sabbath. So the Lord got him wicked at. That's how Jake is, man. May the Most High destroy that, man. You're not going to make it like that.
Nope.
All right. So look at Cain. Now we're going back retrospect. Look at Cain. Am I my brother's keeper? You see this? See the evil is that 4 words? Am I my brother's keeper? 5 words. The evil of 5 words. You know?
Salakia, real fast. When you read the scriptures, you gotta have discernment. When you see a scripture, you're supposed to be able to see that precept and that precept. You can make a whole breakdown off of one precept, man. Right? Because like the brothers is bringing, we're not bringing this out just because, man. Right? We showing you like, look, man, we made in the Lord's image. At least most of you did it. The least of me, you did it to me, man. Right? If you hate your brother, you a murderer. We bringing out all of these things, letting you know that this man is contrary to righteousness off of one precept, having discernment through the spirit. So we can tell through the spirit, through the precepts, that this man is evil, contrary to righteousness, and hates the Lord.
Right, right, right. So Cain said, one of the most words, I know not, am I my brother's keeper. Hey, I believe Nabal said that to David. Who the hell is David?
Yeah.
All right, that's what he knows. He's a who the, basically a who the F is David, man. I don't know that dude. Right? Let me get that account real quick, man. So these things, like I said, he didn't say, "Am I my brother's keeper?" to David, because David was home, him and his fellow brethren, man. Right? Let me get this real quick, man. So, brother, you got to know what's going on in this thing. All right, you got to know what's going on. All right, so bear with us. You looking for it, Ryan?
Con, I'm about to look for it now.
All right. So these things are written for your learning, that we through patience.
It's in 1 Samuel 25.
God. All right, this 1 Samuel chapter 25 and 10. I'll start at 9. All right, this 1 Samuel chapter 25 and 9. And it reads, "And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal, according to all the words and the name of David, and ceased." Because David was out there protecting Nabal's workers, man, from mercenaries and crime, and protecting the sheep. And all David wanted is a little bit of food and drink, And then what did Nabal say? And Nabal answered David's servants and said, "Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master." He was insulting David because everybody knew that who David was, man. Everybody, man. And he knew he didn't break away from his master. He was just being evil, man. He knew David. The woman sang songs to David. His fame was all throughout, even up to the land of Philistines. So Nabal knew about David. But Nabal hated David, man. Was envious of David. Who the F is David, man? I ain't helping this nigga. He better get it on his own. Right? I have to work and grind and eat. Let him work and grind and eat. So Nabal was a classic Nigga, and his name means to be a fool. You got a lot of Nabals out here in the world, man.
Yeah, Nabalites.
Yeah, Nabalites from the house of Nabal. And Nabal's back on the earth, being a damn fool again. Scoffing against the house of David. All right.
Again, thousands of years later. Wow.
Same thing. A man may be known to his children. Right? So we're back in Genesis chapter 4. All right, Genesis chapter 4. And let's read 9 one more time. Genesis 4 and 9. You there, Yardan?
Genesis chapter 4, verse 9. "And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Right.
And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground."
He said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground." Does that mean his actual blood was crying out? And you can look at the blood and see a voice in the tongue yelling. Is that what it's speaking about? What does it mean when it says the voice of Abel's blood crieth unto the Most High from the ground? Right? That means Abel went up there to the third heaven and he's complaining to the Most High about the murder that just happened on the earth. All right. I got precept real quick. Right? This is the book of Joel. Actually, I'll go, Joel chapter 3. All right. Let's go to the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, and we're going to read verse 19. All right, Joel chapter 3 and 19. "Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion." So our blood has never been cleansed. You got people, I remember when who was that brother that got shot at his house eating ice cream? I can't remember the brother's name. The woman came and shot him in his house while he was eating ice cream, and the people they was combing the woman hair, and they said, "I forgive you." and they was kind of patting the woman in the courtroom.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
I know.
yeah, they was cooning hard, and they said they forgive her. Hey, the Lord didn't forgive that so-called white woman, man. The Lord don't forgive Jake is so quick to forgive the so-called white man for murdering them, man. That's how you know they ain't not in their right mind. Because the so-called white man is not going to forgive the so-called white man. It's like the Most High not going to forget them, man. The Most High not going to forget the so-called white man for all of the murder that he did. That's when he's going to cleanse the blood, because all of these brothers and sisters that get murdered by the so-called white man and by their own people, they go up and they cry before the Lord, man. You know, about what happened to him.
Kind of was more on that.
Lie.
Got a point. Was it Brother Eli texted Amber Geiger? That's
Amber
what you're talking
Geiger.
about?
Yeah, the guy was Botham. Botham Jean. That was the guy, Botham Jean, but I believe Amber Geiger, the Edomite, shot him. See that?
Right, this is 2nd Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 8. Say, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them, and those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me from the souls of the just complain continually. And when the souls of the just are complaining continually, we're going to link that up with Job chapter 23, right? This is Job chapter 23 and verse 3. It say, oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come even to his seat. You know, this is Job crying out, man. I wish that I may know where to find the Lord, right? So I can cry even to his seat. I would order my cause before him and fill my mouth with arguments, right? So the spirits of the just that have been slain are in the heavens crying before the Lord. You read about that also in Revelations, the 6th chapter, 9 on down. I would know the words which I would answer me. I would know the words which he would answer me and understand that he would say unto me, what he was saying to me. Will he plead against me with his great power? No, but he will put strength in me. There the righteous may dispute with him. And there is talking about the spirit world. The righteous are the ones that got slain unjustly, right, by these wicked nations. There, the third heaven, the righteous might dispute with him. So should I be delivered forever from my judge. And you also read about that in Luke, the 18th chapter, right? The souls that are just crying unto the Lord. He said, yeah, but speedily where he recompense vengeance on them, man. Though they cry day and night.
This to link up with that, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 6. And that provides hope. Right? There's hope in Genesis chapter 4. Right? No murder goes for naught. No murder is just everybody forgot about it. And this man got away with it and he dies getting away with murder. Right? There's hope in Genesis chapter 4. Because immediately after the death of the innocent, the Lord is getting on the wicked, man. There's judgment stirred up over the wicked, man. So for men to have understanding, when all of your brothers are getting put to death by wicked men, by Esau and the nations, there's hope in this thing, man. Because the Lord is going to surely avenge the blood that was shed, man. Right? Now, they're not doing that at the Christian church. If they were so into the Bible, then they wouldn't be marching. They wouldn't be protesting, because that's seeking their own thing. They would understand that the Lord is going to bring vengeance, man. They would pour Genesis chapter 4 and say, look, the Lord is going to avenge the blood of our servants, man. So these Christians and these people of the world, not only do they not know judgment, but they don't know the Most High. So that's why we have to go and break these things down, man. All right. This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 9. Right? The book of Revelation chapter 6 and 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? So the Most High just said that there were men John saw in a vision that were put to death for this truth. And they're asking the Most High in the spirit world, Lord, please, Lord, how long is it going to take for you to execute vengeance for us? All right, what did the Lord tell them? Verse 11. And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Meaning in the last days, there's an elected amount of martyrs. And the martyrs aren't going to be avenged until every martyr is put to death. See that? All right. And that's heavy too, man, because when is the Most High going to avenge the blood of his servants? When Yahweh shall return. Right? So when Yahweh shall is returning, that's when the elect are sealed. So once the elect are sealed, at the same time, each brother that was put to death, that's fulfilled too to be a martyr. So there's a lot of numbers that have to be fulfilled in this thing in order for destruction to come. The elect got to be sealed. The number of souls got to be put to death. You know?
Got a precept.
Come.
Right. So this is only happening in Genesis. We bringing out verses to let Israel know that look, the Lord's always gonna hearken to Israel, right? In their cry. Seen in Revelation, brother brought out in Luke. All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 8. I'll start at verse 6. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Right? Esau, right? That their hurtful works has been fulfilled. It's going to be a point in time where their sins has reached the heights of heaven. All right, let me bring that out real quick. Revelation. There's bear with me. Is it 18? Slipped in my mind.
Which one?
Where sins have reached up unto heaven.
18. Or 5.
Gone. Oh, here it goes. Oh, God, the water. This is Revelation 18:5, and her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Right, going into that great whore, Esau's kingdom. Right, he remembered her iniquities and her wickedness. The 2nd Ezra 15:5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the earth, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. All right. Behold, that's it on that. Just letting Israel know and giving them a hope. The Lord is going to hearken to. The Lord is hearkening to us. You didn't just stop. Jake always say, what happened to God after the Bible? Is he not here no more? Did he leave?
Right.
No, he's still here. He's still listening. He
Right.
is.
That's right. That's right. Let's get Numbers 35 and 33. Let's get the class. All right. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35 and 33. And it reads, So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the only way for the Lord to reconcile the innocent blood of our fathers and us being shed is he has to kill the so-called white man, because he killed us, right? And the wicked of our people. That's the only way. The Lord is not going to tell us to march and get picket signs and spray paint BLM on all of the buildings, man. Or come together with the so-called white man and make a picket sign. The Lord said, look, hey, I got this, right? Like we always say, look, hey, underneath in these waters, you understand, is dead bodies of slaves. Read Revelation the 20th chapter. It says the sea gave up the dead, right? Hey, the earth gave up the dead, man. Underneath the concrete, these bridges, the asphalt, right? These monuments that are erected in the name of wickedness, it's the blood of our fathers, man. And guess what? The Lord will surely revenge us, man. You know, just like Cain. I got another precept real quick. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 23 and 34. All right, this St. Matthew chapter 23 and 34. This is how we're shot getting on the wicked of our people. Matthew 23 and 34. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets. And you're going to find out that Abel was a prophet, right? We're going to read that. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel. So Abel was one of the prophets and wise men. From the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. This generation. This is it. These are the days where Abel is finally going to get that judgment put on Cain. He had to wait. That's why the Lord said, this is the patience, or here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Hey, brothers have been in the truth more than 50 years. Right? And this seemed like this a long time. And go through this. Right? It seemed like it's a long time. How much more Cain? Right? And Abel. So the Lord said in this generation, Abel is going to be revenged, and all of our fathers. This is the last generation ever on the earth. There won't be another generation on this side of the world. You know? So we can get back to that. All right. So this is it, Israel. This is the last generation. I mean, you're going to have offspring in the kingdom, but we're speaking about on this side. This is the last. This is it. That's what the Lord said. This is the chosen generation.
The last kingdom set up, be destroyed.
Yeah, this is it. That's why these are 10 toes. The Lord said, in the days of these kings, will the Most High raise up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed. And the toes represent the end of a man. You know? And these nations all came together to be one man. That's why they mentioned like that in Daniel's 2nd chapter. You know? So we back in Genesis chapter 4. And we getting it in, man, through the Spirit. Genesis chapter 4. Let's read 10 again.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hands.
You see that? Art thou cursed from the earth. Right? And we're going to find out what it means when it says he's cursed from the earth. All right? So we can go on.
Reads this, verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
Right. So the Lord said, when Esau tilled the ground, it shall not, or Cain, right? When Cain tilled the ground, it shall not yield unto thee her strength. What is that talking about? Meaning that this so-called white man, he's in opposition to earth, to the earth. All right. That's why the so-called white man has to create organisms and genetically modify things and pesticide things and make things grow, because the earth is against him. You had men like George Washington Carver, so he can actually speak to plants, man. You know, and they'll kind of speak back to him. And Dr. Sebi, we're one with the earth. We're in tune with the earth. You know, we get down. The so-called white man who was Cain in the regeneration with that spirit, he's against the earth. The earth is swallows him up, man. You know, that's what that means. Slaki, when it says you shall not be able to till the land or till the ground. All right. So we can go
Yeah,
back.
go watch. It's like you go
Okay.
watch the movie Avatar, you'll see that Esau is not one with the earth. That's why the earth started rising up against him in the movie Avatar with them blue creatures. All right, and they were really Gadites. Right, the animals started helping her out. The actual earth started helping her out.
Right.
So that was a spiritual movie. If you put on your spiritual lens and glasses to see it, to see what's really going on.
That ice
And
out.
Esau ended up leaving that ice out. You know.
Right. Hey, here you're at this Job 20 and 27. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Right.
And
But even these creatures, man, they against the so-called white man. Hey, let these animals break loose out the zoo. You see these old Edomite men try to deal with these lions. These lions not giving a damn. And these circuses, these tigers, and they're fed up, man. Hey, the wildfires, the earth is against them. And we know it's not nature, it's the spirits that the Lord has put on the earth, man. Swallowing them up, fault lines. All right.
I got a precept.
hey, I got one after you.
It's the book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 5. They were driven from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. I said it was driven from among men, man. Even from the ancient world and now. Don't nobody from the history of time love this nasty, wicked, vile beast, man. They was chased out, right? In the past, in the ancient world, and they're going to be chased out again. Let's get that in Job 18 and 18. It's Job 18 and 18. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. And that's literal, man. He literally going. That's why the Lord said he has fishers and then he has hunters, because we're gonna have to literally chase this man, right? Grab him up and bound him down, right? You got it, y'all down.
All right.
It said in Revelation 12 and 15, and the earth helped the woman. That woman is Israel. The earth always going to help out Israel, right? But how did it help out Israel? All right, the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. All the propaganda, lies, deceit, philosophies that Esau pushes out to try to drown a woman, make them utterly destroyed and lacking knowledge forever. Look, the earth helped the woman by preserving certain artifacts, right, such as the slave ships found in New Mexico or Mexico, right, the Keystone tablets, Los Lunas Decalogue stone, other hidden scrolls, the Apocrypha, right, specifically. You actually have a ancient tablet, the Ten Commandments over there in New Mexico.
That's right.
So the earth is always on Jake's side because we're one with the earth.
And
that's why Abraham was sitting in the field just meditating, right? And the wind,
That's why Solomon was able to speak of wild beasts and creeping things in the book of 1 Kings, the 4th chapter, man. That's what the Lord said. This Psalms 85 and 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and in righteousness shall look down from heaven. So even the truth is springing up out of the earth, man. Like living water, like a geyser. When you travel and you see the Yellowstone, spring at the Yellowstone geyser. You know what it's called. And them things that come up out the earth, that's how the living water is, spewing up out of the earth, man. So we're not cursed from the earth because the Lord supplies us with the proper nutrients to survive on the earth. Didn't the Lord say living water shall break out in the wilderness? Esau can't till the ground, and even on a spiritual level, Esau can't plant righteous fruit. He can't plant fruit. He made the world a wilderness. Until then, Isaiah chapter 14, he cut down the trees. All he knows how to destroy trees and cut them down. We're the only ones that know how to till the land, right? Know how to plant seeds and water them, right? We're not cursed from the earth. We plant the seeds of the kingdom of heaven. Brothers water it. We teach the people, right? We prune it and we dung it about, and men become virtuous, strong cedars of Lebanon. Can Esau do that? No, he's cursed from the earth. All he does is cut down trees and he can't bring forth fruit. A Jake, the elect, they got that spiritual green thumb. You know? That's why you had the apostles who brought in like 3,000 souls at one time. Those are all seeds that they planted. And they all abounded just like that. So that's kind of twofold, man. You know? So we can go back to that. All right. Let's read that previous verse again.
Genesis chapter 4. We'll go back to it.
And 12.
Verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
Right. Now, fugitive, right? For those that don't know what a fugitive is, we'll put up a definition. And now if you haven't been, the picture wasn't painted to show how this spirit that was in Cain is in the so-called white man, we'll show you further proof, because Cain is prophesied to be a fugitive. Now, what is the definition of a fugitive? Let's pull this up. Bear with us. Right? A fugitive. All right. Running away. Or, okay, hold on. Well, I want a better definition, because it's not, a fugitive isn't somebody just running away. Right? Because you're running away from something. All right, here you have it. A fugitive, a person who is fleeing from prosecution, intolerable circumstances, a fugitive from justice, a fugitive from a dictatorial regime. So why is Cain called a fugitive? What crime did he commit? He murdered his brother. So Cain is always on the go, right? Cain is always on the run. And he has never been caught yet. He's the world's #1 fugitive. You know? And guess what? He's wanted dead or alive by the Most High. Dead or alive. There's a bounty on his head, and the Lord won him. You know? So he's that fugitive. All right? And it says a vagabond. A vagabond is a wanderer. All right, let me go to Habakkuk chapter 2. It's like, I just had another precept in my mind. Please. I just lost it. But that's okay. Most High willing to come back. All right, bear with me. All right, this is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2. And I'll read verse 5. All right, Habakkuk chapter 2 and 5. It reads, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. So he's a vagabond. He's always on the go. The so-called white man, he started in Mount Seir. That was the land given to him. But was that enough for him? No. He went to the Caucasus Mountains, right? Then where did he go? He went up in Europe. Then he went to Africa. Then he went to Australia. Now he went to this side of the world. Now he in the land of Israel. Now he's the last samurai. Now he's the last Egyptian. You know? And the so-called white man wanders from place to place to place, man.
Right. He got a mask on to everybody but himself. That's why the Lord said in that day he gonna be revealed, man. Because like the brother was going into, he going around portraying himself to be everybody but who he is, man. A thief and a murderer.
That's right.
Yeah. Damn last samurai.
Right. Come on now. How is Esau the last samurai? The last one? You see that? That's proud. At least the first, well, not even the first one, the middle one. But you're the last one.
Right.
Let me go to Job chapter 24. This is madness, man. Right? This is Job chapter 24 and verse 12. Right? Job chapter 24 and 12, and it reads, men groan from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded crieth out, yet the Most High layeth not folly to them. You can hear Jake groaning. When you travel in the hoods, Jake groaning, they crying. You know? People screaming because they can't pay their bills. Mothers yelling at their children because they got fired from their job. A men grown out of the city, man. Right? And the soul of the wounded crieth out. When Jake gets shot in the streets and they crying out, when there's drive-bys and the police brutality, where the soul of the wounded crieth out, yet the Most High is not laying folly to the so-called white man. He's not going to charge him for his crime because he's going to remain that fugitive. Right? Read on. Verse 13. They are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. So Esau, he rebels against the light like a vampire. Turn on the light, right? You know, they put on a mask and a cloak, you know, like a rat and a roach when the light come on. That's how Esau is. You bring out the truth, all hell break loose, man. He rebels against the light. Meaning he fights against it. He practices witchcraft to try to stop the light. Because the Lord said rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. You know? So anything that Esau comes up with to stop the truth is witchcraft. You know? It says also, or it reads Job 24:14, here's the point. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. You know, and if you're a thief, you're going to have a disguise. All top thieves have a disguise. You have an alias and you have a disguise. Whether you have a mask you make or a mask that you get from the dollar store, you're going to have a disguise to hide your identity because you're the murderer. And that identity becomes your power in the nighttime. That's your stronghold. You could be a thief at nighttime, right? But you can kind of, you know, you have a little bit of light. You can kind of see the thief. But if you have that mask on, then it's a little bit harder. So this devil has on different masks like French, German, Italian, white man, Jesus, God, Michael the Archangel, right? The Jews, the people of God, Moses, the last samurai, Pharaoh,
Black people.
AKA he every race on earth.
Yeah, he everybody.
Yeah.
He everybody.
He's everybody now. So it's hard to kind of pick out this man because he got so many different identities. Because people actually believe that he's the last samurai. Right? People actually believe that he's the Pharaoh. People believe that he's the Jew. People believe that he's the white man. All of these different identities. It's hard to catch this fugitive. He's the world's #1 criminal, man. You can't catch this man. But the Lord gonna catch his ass, man. You know? You see that? You see that?
Madness.
That looked like the dad from Brady Bunch, man. You know? So is that Pharaoh? Is that who the Lord? That looks like totally, man. Is that who the Lord dealing with? Right? The Lord not dealing with that, man.
Wasn't he an Arab? Oh shoot! In Lawrence of Arabia, then he turned into an Arab man.
Yeah, he's a Latin,
Right.
Jasmine. You know, he's everybody, man. This man is literally everybody with so many different aliases. That's what the Lord said in Job 24. Salakia, I meant to hide this. Salakia. The Lord said in the night he's like a thief. Because remember, that's your stronghold, man. Right? He's the Native American.
Oh,
He's Geronimo. He's Pocahontas. And he's us. He's you and me.
right.
He's your son and your daughter. He's your father. How you gonna pretend to be your father and you and the son and his army? And he getting away with it. So this devil, man, he's the master thief. See that? He's the last number.
Oh,
Who is that? Who is that? Who is he now? Is that Jack Johnson?
That's it. Edom might try and be a Jake. You see the
See
bottom
that?
is right there, kind of white. So now he's an Israelite.
See, now he's an Israelite. You see that? Now does that mean he get the promises? Now I go Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Right? Madness, man. Right? Madness. That's what the Lord. Let me read this again. You see that? Job chapter 24 and 14. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. The eye also of the adulterer waited for the twilight, right? Saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. You see that? So a white man disguises his face because he doesn't want anybody to see him. And he waits till it's twilight. Meaning he waits till it's the peak of wickedness, the peak of darkness. You see that? See that? It's madness, man. Madness. So again, in Job 24 and 15, the eye also of the adulterer, because Esau, he's the adulterer, committing fornication with everybody under the sun. And he waits for the twilight, for sin and darkness to prevail. Right? It says, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. Right? And he believed the angels can't see him, and no man is ever going to find out that he's a so-called white man. Right? He literally thought that nobody's going to find out that he's Esau, that he's an Edomite. And if you're a so-called white man, you're an Edomite, man. You're not a Caucasian. You're not a German. You're not Italian. You're not French. You are Edomite, man. And the Lord pulled back that mask like Scooby-Doo back in the day, man. You know?
Let me bring this up real fast. This Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And he being revealed right now. We snatching off that hood, like the brother said, man. That Scooby-Doo mask. We snatching it off. We snatching off German, Dutch, British. We snatching it all off, man. You Esau, and you the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right. That's right. That's right, man. That's what the Lord always speaks about, pulling back his skirt and lifting up his veil. So we can, not only are we pulling up this mask, we're going to strip you naked. The Lord want to see every part of you, man. And the Lord said in the book of Habakkuk, let me get this in Habakkuk, the second chapter. So the Lord, he's going to do the most exposing. Right? This Habakkuk chapter 2, and I'm going to read verse 16. I'm going to start at 15. I'm going to just read 16. Habakkuk chapter 2 and 16. It reads, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So there's going to be so much exposure. Not only is his mask going to be revealed, right? Because his mask is off. We know he's an Edomite, but now his foreskin is about to be revealed. That's the ultimate exposure. The Lord going to peel back his uncircumcised foreskin. We're going to look at the filth and the hidden sins and the hidden iniquity of the so-called white man. So get ready for that. We're looking at an anatomical structure of the so-called white man. He laid all out in the sun, and the Lord peeling back his foreskin. And put that eye salve on that you can see. You got it.
Go Google that. Google it. See all the filth that's under there, right? That's the picture we painting. That's the picture the scriptures is painting.
These are uncircumcised.
That's why when you uncircumcised, you got a lot of junk, there. You got a lot of garbage. You got a lot of filth. You got a lot of sewage right there. There's junk mail, right? So when you
well, hey, Salaka, they actually say that men that are uncircumcised, they have a higher rate of penile cancer. Like a lot of Moabites and Ammonites, they have a higher rate of catching cancer because of that garbage they got to deal with. So the Lord said he's going to do the massive exposure of the so-called white man. Right? That's in the Bible. His foreskin going to be uncovered, straight like that. Which is his sins.
Yeah, let me bring this out real fast. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen, and I will take revenge, and I will not meet thee as a man. So when the Lord come, he's not going to meet you as a man. How does a man meet you? With a hug, a handshake, write a damn dap. Hey, the Lord not meeting you like that, man. He gonna put you to death, coming back like a mighty man of war.
That's right. And it's Nahum, the book of Nahum, chapter 3 and 5. Right? Nahum 3 and 5. Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. And I will, because Esau, he has that transsexual vibe. Because he's a man, but he got this skirt on too. Sometimes he's a woman, sometimes he's a man. Right? So the Lord is doing a lot of revealing. Right? Because how can you have foreskin and have a skirt on at the same time? You know? It says, I would discover thy skirts upon thy face. I will show the naked nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. All right. So you're going to lift up that skirt and see Esau's foreskin. So this man is an abomination. You know?
Oh.
So that's why the Lord called Cain a fugitive, because Cain has yet to pay for his crimes that he has done on the earth. That's what the Lord said in Genesis chapter 23, that Cain is, Matthew chapter 23, that Cain is going to be judged in this generation. Why? Because Esau is going to get judged. That same spirit. All right. Even if Cain is here in the regeneration. So let's go back to that in Genesis chapter 4.
Genesis chapter 4. Verse 13.
All right. Let's read let's read 13.
And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from the face, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me.
Right. So Cain said, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Now, what didn't Cain do? Cain didn't repent. Now, here you have him being charged with this murder, and he's not even going to own up to it. He's just going to try to get an easier punishment, right? Where did he say, look, I went off, I murdered Abel, I was jealous, my wrath got the best of me. Can you forgive me? No. He said, look, hey, that's like you punish your child do something wrong, you take away his Xbox. Say, man, can you just take away my just one video game? Right? Just take away a video game, please. He's not owning up. That means your child, he don't accept that punishment. And he still don't even think what he did is wrong. He just want a lesser punishment. Right? That's Cain right there, man. My punishment is greater than I can bear. You know? And then he also said, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth. Does that mean he got kicked out to another planet? What does it mean that he was driven from the face of the earth and from the face of the Lord? All right? Let me go to the book of Numbers. Right? What does it mean when you're driven from the face of the Lord and from the face of the earth? All right, let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 6 and verse 24. Right? This Numbers chapter 6 and 24. Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Right? The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance, meaning his face, upon thee and give thee peace. So when you're exiled from the face of the Lord, you're in darkness because the Lord's face is always light. The Lord is light. Or I believe in Daniel says his face like the appearance of light. Daniel's 10th chapter. Right? So the Lord's face is symbolic for the knowledge and wisdom and understanding, which is light. And if you're hid from the face of the Lord, you don't have access to that knowledge anymore. You don't have access to the Most High anymore. Right? You don't have that opportunity to come back in the grace of the Father. So you're driven out into darkness. No peace. That's what the Lord said. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. So if the Lord don't look upon you with his face, then you don't have peace. You have no peace. You have no return back to the Father. You have no knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You're going to die in darkness. That's what it means. From thy face shall I be hid. All right. And he also said, let's read that one more time. What else did he say at the end, Baba Kashar?
I got a quick precept
You
in
got
Job
it.
11:6. It says, and it's like let me turn this light. He says, and that he would shew thee the secret of wisdom, that they are double to that which is, know therefore that God exacteth of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth.
Right.
And Esau, Cain, he could have, utterly put Cain to stop, right? He could have took him out the earth. He could have killed him.
Yeah.
So even Cain complaining, he's an ingrate, right? He's ungrateful, right? He's a punk, a delinquent, all
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Lord, you did too much. Can you give me another one? Can you give me kind of something else a little lighter? He could have killed you, right?
Yeah.
The Most High still preserved him, but of course, it was all predestined, but still,
That's right. I got a quick precept. That's right, because the penalty is death. So he didn't even get down with the mercy of the Most High. Right? He took the grace of the Most High as a thing for naught and went to seek out his own thing, man. This Genesis chapter 27, and I'll read verse 30. Oh, actually, I want Hebrews chapter 12, which is an after account, right? I'll go to Hebrews chapter 12 and 16, right? It's the book of Hebrews chapter 12 and 16. It reads, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. But ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. What does it mean he sought it carefully? Right? We're going to pull up this word carefully. Right? Now, that word, when you seek out something carefully with tears, that's called crocodile tears. When people cry and they see if you looking, you have your head down, they want to see if you cry, then you kind of looking like this to see if they watching you cry, then you go back to crying. That's what Esau did, man. Right? Let me pull this word carefully up. And that's what Cain did. My punishment is greater than I can bear. That's him seeking out it carefully. All right, bear with us. I want to pull this up 1 second. All right, though he sought it carefully with tears. That's what children do, man. And evil men. All right. So here's his word carefully in the Greek. We'll let him play it.
Strong's G 1567. Exateo. Exateo.
Exateo. It says to seek out, to search for, to seek out, investigate, scrutinize, to seek out for oneself, to beg and to crave. Right? So what does it mean? He thought that carefully with tears, diligently, right? In a sneaky manner, man. The same thing he did when he was Cain. Right? That's why he said, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
That drama queen, basically.
Like somebody put carefully meaning calculated. That's a good synonym. It was calculated. It was well timed out. So we back in Genesis chapter 4.
Genesis chapter 4.
Let's read 14. 14 again, Baba Kashar.
Verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Right, what does it mean? Everyone that findeth me shall slay me. I thought Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel were the only people on the earth at the time. Why would Cain, if there's only now 3 people, if there was Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, and Cain just killed Abel, why would Cain make the statement that everyone that findeth me shall slay me if there's only two other people on earth? That doesn't make any sense. So that even lets you know that there were more than other just Cain and Abel on the earth. What does it mean? Everyone that
Kind of broke up. All right, can you hear me?
Come on, I can hear you. I read 14 to brother come back. Satan trying to take away the word.
Yeah.
Right? It's the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me from out this day from the face of the earth. From thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. Right? Like the brother was going into, like he was saying, like I thought it was the only ones on the earth. Right? When the Lord created man, he created many men on the earth. All right, let's get that in the book of Genesis. Right,
Yeah,
1 and
precept that
26.
easy.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 26. And Yahweh said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. He said, let them have dominion, right, over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So Yahweh created man in his own image, and the image of God created he. So like he them male and female, and he blessed them. Right. So the Lord created man, right, in totality, man. He didn't just create one man, right? That was that chosen Adam when you read about in Genesis 2 and 7 that raised up. You also could read about that in Ezekiel chapter 31 and verse 3 on down. You got it, Ken.
Damn. And when it say, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth and from thy face, right? When the Lord is not acknowledging you, he hides his face from you. Right? I mean, he's not listening to your prayers. You know, he's not really paying attention to you. You know, he's not giving you love. The same way when your kid act up, you got to kind of turn your face. And then the baby's, you know, he get more riled up, right? Because nobody's giving him attention. And that's Esau, you know? And and he has no certain dwelling place, you know. He has no lot. He's just here just to be destroyed, you know.
Right, it's the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 34, right? And Cain is Esau, man, right? If you didn't know, right? It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry. Meaning he was moaning and yelling and damn crying and damn throwing a damn tantrum, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also my father. Right? And that's what Cain is doing, man. Right? Oh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Right? Oh, I don't want to deal with this. He kind of weeping, just like Esau did. Right? And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightfully named Jacob? And he hath supplanted me these two times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? Right? No, you don't got no blessing, man.
Right.
Only blessing you have is the fatness of this earth, right? The sword and the military might, man. Right? And it says, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with the corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? He said, well, what I'm gonna do to you, man? I done gave everything, right? I mean everything to Jacob, right? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, right? And that's what he doing, man, because he crying out like the brother brought out in Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. You have no damn, you have no saving, no blessing, and you have nothing in the inheritance of our fathers.
That's right. That's right. You know, so brothers, they breaking it down for you, man. All right, you can't get this in your Christian church, man. When in the Jehovah Witness temple did they break down Genesis chapter 4 to you, man?
Never.
You know? So this is madness. So Cain was on a run from the revengers of blood. I want to did y'all pull Numbers 35?
Nah.
All right, let me go to this in Numbers chapter 35. So when Cain said, everyone that findeth me shall slay me, you had a law called the revengers of blood. So if someone was to kill Yaradon, most I forbid, then I would be the one to avenge his blood. I would have to chase this man down and kill him to avenge Yaradon's blood. Right? That's justice. Or if somebody killed Uriah, we got to go chase the murderer of Uriah down and kill that murderer to avenge Uriah's blood. So when Cain killed Abel, Cain knew the law. So Cain already knew the commandments. That's another thing. Cain is quoting the law when it benefits him, but doesn't want to keep the law when it benefits Abel. He wants to be a murderer and say, I don't know the law. But now when his back is against the wall, all of a sudden he knows the law about revenge of blood. So this man is a devil, man.
Crafty.
Crafty. That's why he saw that carefully. Right? Numbers chapter 35 and verse 11. I'll start at 10. Numbers 35 and 10. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye become over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall appoint you to be cities of refuge for you, that the slayer may flee thither, which killeth any person at unawares. So they had 6 cities of refuge, 3 on one side of the Jordan River and 3 on the other side of the Jordan River. If you murdered somebody accidentally, which is called manslaughter, then you would be able to flee to the city of refuge. Now, if you didn't get to the city of refuge in time, and the revengers of blood caught up with you, then look, hey, they have a right to put you to death. But if you get to the city in time, you're secure into the city. Let's read on. Numbers 35 and 12. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer die not until he stand before the congregation in judgment. And of these cities which they shall give, 6 cities shall ye have for refuge. Ye shall have, it's like ye shall give 3 cities on this side Jordan, and 3 cities shall ye give in the land of Canaan, which shall be cities of refuge. These 6 cities shall be a refuge, both for the children of Israel, and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that killeth any person unawares may flee thither. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so that he die, he is a murderer, the murderer shall surely be put to death. But I'm going to jump down to verse 19. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. So you have revengers of blood that would kill the person that killed their nearest of kin. So Abel had cousins, right? And relatives that had a right to put Cain to death, and Cain knew that. Cain said, "Look, they're on my head. I killed Abel. Look, hey, look, they coming after me, Lord. This is too much. I can't handle this. I want to get away with murder." Right? So let's see what happens afterwards. In Genesis chapter 4. Yaradan.
It's Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayed Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him.
Right. Whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. Meaning, if you was to kill Cain, Cain didn't have a city of refuge to go to at the time. So Cain's refuge is the mark that's put upon him. So that can be his protection. All right. That nobody can kill him except the Most High. Now, Cain thought he was finessing the Lord, but the Lord has really set him up as a mark to kill him. You know? Let's go to Psalms chapter 79 and 11. So no man is able to kill Cain except the Most High. Right? This Psalms chapter 79, and I'll read 11 and 12. Right? The book of Psalms chapter 79 and 11. Let the sign of the prisoner come before thee. According to the greatness of thy power, preserve thou those that are appointed to die, and render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach wherewith they have reproached thee, O Lord. So you had vengeance that will be taken on Cain sevenfold, and there's a promise that David prayed to the Most High that will be fulfilled by the Lord. That same vengeance that man wouldn't be able to perform on Cain, that the Lord will perform on Cain. All right. So Cain will get that sevenfold vengeance. We read about that in Matthew chapter 23. Who's going to get that sevenfold vengeance to Cain? Yahweh Shai. Right? Yahweh Shai is going to get that. Then the Lord tell you in Matthew, the 21st chapter, about the men that slew the husbandmen, that Yahweh Shai would miserably destroy those wicked men. So Abel was a husbandman, right? A keeper of the sheep. Cain slew him, so Yahweh Shai is going to avenge the blood because that's his brother. He's going to miserably destroy those wicked men. You know? So let's go back to, you had something?
Allah.
And that mark that he gave him is the leprosy. Now that's what Cain or Esau looks like he does now. There's a reason why Esau looks like the so-called, or looks the way he looks. Not an accident. All right. The Lord did that for a reason. All right. That's the mark of Cain. Let's go to Genesis 25:25 real quick for those who may not know. All right. Let's go to Genesis 25:25.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. She said, moreover, unto him, we have both straw and provender enough, and room to
Genesis,
lodge in. Oh, hold on, that's 24. It's Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red and all over like an hairy garment. But they called his name Esau. And they called
right.
him Esau.
Why did Esau come out red? Does anybody know why Esau came out red? Right? Let's go to Genesis 3:15.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall come, it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Right. So the Lord said he will put variance and opposition between the woman, which is Eve, also going into Israel, a woman, and the seed of the serpent. And we will bruise the seed of the serpent. All right. So the seed of the serpent is speaking of who? Esau. Right? Now, Cain is of the wicked one, but that same spirit that took over and ruled Cain is inside the so-called white man. All right. So there have to be, Cain is the seed of the wicked in Genesis 4, but that seed had to come back after the flood. After the flood, all man died. So how is the prophecy going to be fulfilled unless the serpent seed line comes back? That can't be fulfilled unless the Lord bring that seed line back. So Esau had to come back as Cain to fulfill the prophecy of us bruising his heel. You know, you can't fulfill that prophecy if everybody died in the flood. Where's the wicked going to come from? The wicked had to come through Shem, had to come through Abraham, had to come through Isaac, and they have to go to Esau to fulfill that wickedness back on the earth. All right. So let's go on.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 16.
And Salakia, it's not normal to look like the so-called white man. Let me put that out there too. A lot of Jake, you want to bleach your skin, you Benjamites, and you Judites and Levites, right? A lot of the whole earth does that, man. And the media, yeah, they want to be light skinned and all that. Let me go to Numbers chapter 12 real quick. Right? How did Aaron and Moses feel about Miriam turning leprous? right? This Numbers chapter 12 and verse, I'll get straight to the point, 10. Right? This Numbers chapter 12 and 10. And it reads, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, alas, my Lord. Alas means like, oh, damn. Right? He didn't say, alas, my Lord. Right? Alas. Right? Adawanya. Right? In the Hebrew. I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Right? What was their sin? Their sin, the Lord said, thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. They was kind of getting on Moses, and they didn't have a right to do so. Especially Miriam. Now a God can kind of get on another God, right? Like Yardan can get on me, or Ride can get on me, right? But a lot of these women, they can't really get on you, right? Like Miriam had no right to get on Moses because he was a God. All right, so the Lord put the leprosy on not Aaron, but put it on Miriam because she was out of order. A lot of people get mad. It's like they get mad at that. How come Aaron didn't get judged? Aaron was saying it too. Hey, Aaron's a fellow God, right? You had something to say?
Man, that's just what I was about to say. You can't get mad at that. Like that's the
Yeah.
scriptures. You can't get around that. You want to be mad at you can be mad at the Lord, but it ain't going to do you good. All right.
Hey, a lot of Eve, you gotta watch how you talking to your husbands. You know, some of these husbands, they could be the men of the Lord, and the Lord be jacking up these women because the Lord may smite you with leprosy, man, or plagues, or pains, or punishments, or things, because you be talking to the men of the Lord like that. Just putting that out there, right? You remember your husbands, he's not a Negro of the world. Hey, he's a man of the Lord. And you men treat your woman in order too. Because these women, they women of the Lord. Right? You know? So we back in the book of Genesis.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden.
Right, and he went to the east of Eden. I believe we covered that in the previous lesson. Right, in the east of Eden, you had cherubims and a flaming sword. He wanted to access that spiritual demon Satan. That's why he went to the east of Eden. He found out that if I go to this direction, I can have direct access to the spiritual demon Satan and get power and knowledge from. All right, let me get that real quick in Genesis, the 3rd chapter. No stone unturned. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Right? So some spirits was out there, and Cain wanted to directly access those spirits. Cain had thoughts of the Most High telling him, hey, I remember the Lord said, if I don't do right, then I could serve Satan, and Satan can rule over me. That sounds like the plan. Let me kill Abel, let me go serve Satan and lie about it. Right? He had a master plan to access Satan. That's why he went to the east of Eden. But how did that conversation go within the east of Eden? Let's go to Luke chapter 4 and 5. All right. How did that conversation go in the east of Eden? Or Luke chapter 4, 4 and 5.
This is Luke chapter 4, verse 5. To resist, and the devil taking him up into an high mountains, shewed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
And these things happen, right? A king had to experience this, man. All the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. Go on.
And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will I give it.
Right?
If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine.
So that's what happened. As we read on in Genesis chapter 4, you'll find out that everything that Cain got was a product of him worshiping Satan. Right? When we read about the technology for him to build a city, the technology for his sons to be top farmers and miners and biologists and agriculturalists and geologists. Right? Where did they get that technology from? They got it from their father Cain. Right? Cain taught their sons that, man. Like y'all done, you put that polymath. Right? Polymath means you have poly meaning many, math going back to math meaning truths. When you have many truths, you're skilled in many things. So Cain was a polymath. Cain knew how to build cities, play instruments, do mining, and he taught that to his sons. He got all of that from Satan, and that sounds familiar. It sounds like a so-called white man. Why do you think the so-called white man know how to build an atomic bomb and have night vision goggles and have vehicles fly faster than the speed of sound and measure that? Where did he get this from? Is it because he's smart? No, he got it from the spiritual demon Satan, huh? You know? So let's go back. Like Thomas Kirkwood said, asking you shall receive. That works both ways. And the Lord said in Sirach chapter 20 and 9, there is a sinner that hath good success in evil things. So one may see the success of Cain and him building a city and think that the Lord is dealing with him, but he had that in evil things. Right? Men that sell their soul, you'll see them have good success. They may have the top mansions. They may be flying in helicopters, right? They may be eating the best food and going on the best trips and living that exotic lifestyle that you wish you could live. And they'll tell you in the Grammys, they'll tell you in the Oscars, right? I just want to thank God for doing. What God are they talking about? What God? I believe there was a speech where Christian Bale, who played Batman, he said, I want to thank Satan. He came up and said, I want to thank Satan. And everybody laughed. But everybody knew that this man was bold. And they worshiped that man for that. Right?
He said that for real?
Yeah, he said, I want to thank Satan. He just came out. You know? So these things are real, man. Hey, selling your soul is real. And Satan rewarding you for that, that's a real thing. It's not a conspiracy. Cain did it.
That precept.
Con.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 11. And they say, how doeth God know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long I have been plagued and chastised every morning. Right, so David in the spirit, man, he's saying straight up and down, look, I don't wash my hands for naught, man. All I'm getting is chastised, right, beat down, all type of plagues is happening to me. While I look to the sinners and all they doing is prospering, having riches, right? They have silver and gold and yachts and they have everything like the brother bringing out because they serve in Satan, right? You got two pathways. You could be a real man and get down in the dirt in the field and work for your reward, or you could get it immediately and it damn disappear like a thief in the night, man. People want things immediately, like they look for a sign, like you read about in Matthew, the 16th chapter, right? The wicked generation seeketh for sign. They want to see something immediately. They want riches immediately. They want their heaven immediately, right? They want their kingdom now. Hey, well, brother, anything worth having, you gotta work for.
That's right.
You don't see time and chance happening to them all. You know, can't force your cards.
Right.
You know, I was gonna get some. You brought up Psalm 73.
Con.
They say, force not the course of a river.
Yeah.
You know?
So you can't be envious at the wicked, man.
All right. So you want move on to Genesis chapter 4?
It's Genesis chapter 4, verse 17. And Cain knew his wife, lie down with her. And she conceived and bare Enoch, and he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, King.
Now,
And
I was about
Enoch just
to
means
say,
the enlightened one, on the
what you say,
left hand
y'all done?
side. Huh?
I said, what you say, y'all done?
I said Enoch means the enlightened one, right? Or the light. And this is going on the left hand side, right? So they built that city through the knowledge from the left hand side. It's from Satan, right? Selling their soul, performing wickedness, you know.
Con.
That's right. That's right.
Psalm
And
49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They called their lands after their own names, right? And what did Cain do? He did the same exact thing, man, to his son. He called the land after their own names, man. Right? Don't you have a son? He has your last name, and then you carry that on, and you carry that on. Right down Maryland is named after a so-called white man. And these lands and these places and cities are named after the so-called white man. Right? America Vespucius, right? Leonardo's Africanos, right? All of these different so-called white men, all they want to do is have that spirit where they sticking their damn flag and something conquering. That's the spirit they want, just to stick their flag and say that this is mine. I'm gonna put this name on this. Right? I've conquered this. They get a kick out of that, man. They get a rise out of that.
that's right. That's right. And like Yaradan was saying too, that word Enoch, it just means the enlightened one. That's why you have two Enochs. You have an Enoch on the right hand side in Genesis chapter 5, and you have an Enoch on the left hand side. Both of them are enlightened, but one is enlightened in the knowledge of the Most High, and one is enlightened in the knowledge of wickedness. And that's why we go through in Genesis. The Most High set it up beautifully because the sons of darkness are mentioned before the sons of light. So the sons of Cain are mentioned before the sons of Seth. Why? Because darkness always comes before light, you know? So we can go back to that in Genesis chapter 4.
Verse 18, Genesis chapter 4. And Enoch was born, and Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begat Mehuel, and Mehuel begat Methuselah, and Methuselah begat Lamech,
Right?
and Lamech took unto him two wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah.
Now Lamech in the Hebrew, his name means powerful. You have the father of Noah, which is Lamech. He was powerful on the right hand side. You have Lamech on the left hand side. He was powerful in wickedness. Right? You can go on. And it's the first account of a man having two wives.
Verse 20. And Adah bare Jabal, he was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle.
Right? He was the father of so-called domestication. He knew how to kind of breed these animals and tame them and use them in a proper manner. Right? Go on.
And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And
Right?
Zillah,
And
she
his music
also bare.
wasn't righteous.
Right.
Mhm,
Demonic.
yeah.
Right.
And Zillah, she also bare to Tubal, Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron, and the sister of Tubal, Cain, was Naamah.
Now he wasn't making pots and he was making weapons. Let's just put it out there: swords, daggers, shields, right?
Brass knuckles,
Brass
uh,
knuckles.
that mace that you kind of spin around that ball with the
Yep.
needles.
That's why I tell you, Sirach.
Coughing with the needles too.
Yep. Tell you, Sirach 39 that these things, the sinner turned these good things into evil. Paraphrasing. So you could take brass and iron and make shields and a temple for the Lord and things that are righteous. And the sons of the wicked, they have taken these things and made them into wickedness. Right?
and this is like the blueprint of the world today, right? This is the blueprint how it all started. The big plan. They said, look, this is how the whole world is going to be. All right, you got the artificers on the left hand side. You got the wicked musicians. All right, check this off. Check this off. What else we need? You know, they got the cattle's. Who controls all the cattle? Esau. They whip them. You know.
That's right.
Uh, verse 17. So lucky. Hold on.
23.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 23. And Lamech said unto his wives, Adat and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt.
And that's we know what that means, right? You kill some, oh man, I feel so bad I killed this person, man. I'm so hurt. I'm so upset I killed this person, man. I shouldn't have did it. Oh, I'm such a bad person. Was he really remorseful? What does it mean you have slain a man to, how can you kill a man to your wounding and slay a man to your hurt? You gotta watch out for these sons of the wicked, man. You know, you gotta watch out for these guys. These guys are sons of the wicked, they're murderers, man. You know? And then he about to get proud. He about to get real proud in the next verse.
If Cain shall be avenged 70-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold.
And when did the Lord say that? I thought the Lord put that on Cain. But Lamech, he gonna say, I'm gonna take what the Lord put on Cain for murdering Abel, and I'm gonna multiply that and put it on me. So these guys are off, man. The Lord never told Lamech that. This is a self-proclaimed, what's the word I'm looking for? A self-proclaimed escape from punishment by pretending to be God. Here's one of the first accounts of pretending to be the Lord. You know, you have something there done.
And in his mind, you know, he's probably thinking that goes on forever. Because we know
Right.
70 times 7 in Matthew 18, you know, that's forever. He's probably thinking, maybe I can get away with it forever, right? For a very, very long time.
Right.
Perhaps I could just get away with this little scandal and kind of do what I want with my life, you know?
And that's murder.
Yeah.
He believes he can get away with this thing forever. Murder forever. And then the way to justify it, he says, look, hey, I'm gonna be the Lord and I'm gonna bless myself. So no man can murder me. That's proud, man. You gotta watch out for this dude Lamech and his 2 wives, man. Right? So we can go on.
And Jake can't be thinking, and I think Jake actually think like that when they commit certain murders. Esau did. You know, maybe I can get away with it too. Well, I saw this one Jake do it. I could probably do it too, and then, you know, do some more. That's a bad mentality to have.
What the Lord said, because in Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So simply because Lamech didn't get immediately judged, he feels as though, look, he can get away with this thing forever. You know? Mm-hmm. So these things happen, man. You can't just read Genesis chapter. You have to remember that you're reading about the sons of the wicked, right? And you're reading about the evil ways. A man, he just murdered somebody. He didn't defeat him in battle, right? He's one of the sons of the wicked. How does Esau get down in battle? Right? Esau, he'll bomb hospitals and children and blame it on them, man. And said they did A, B, and C. They're terrorists. They're Al-Qaeda. And they come home and they'll have a funeral for people that they killed in 9/11. And say, we're not going to rest until we seek out the Al-Qaeda and destroy them. That's Lamech. Right? They'll kill their own people and then cry about it to get another thing going. You know? So these guys, they're not right, man. Right? So we can go on.
Verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
Right.
And Oh, you got it.
Oh, go ahead.
And I believe Seth just goes into recompense,
Replacement.
compensate,
Yeah,
replacement.
compensate or replacement.
You know, Nomen omens. So Seth he got replaced from his his oldest brother. Well, really, not to get too deep. Some say that's Abel back on the earth. But you got it.
Kind of, that's all I wanted.
Verse 26. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord.
See that? What does that mean? It means the sons of God are being established.
Right.
All right. The sons of God are being established in the earth. All right. That's what that means. It doesn't mean that Seth is the first one to know the name of the Lord. Because Eve said, I've gotten a man from your house. Right? So now in the last days, men are beginning to call upon the name of the Lord. Right? That's happening now. Meaning we're returning back to the Most High. We're keeping the commandments. We're the seed line whom the Lord had blessed. You know? So brother, got anything else? Let me get Revelation chapter 22. Right? So Most High willing Akim and Aquath got edified. That's Genesis chapter 4. The secrets of Genesis chapter 4 breakdown of with Cain and Abel. Right? This Revelation chapter 22. And let me say this to you, gotta watch. I did a World War III watch earlier. Jake, World War III is about to kick off, man. If you're not paying attention, then I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna be caught naked and ashamed. You got Azerbaijan and Armenia, Turkey getting into this thing, Russia getting into this. Turkey just sent people over there, man. And when they get involved, Russia's gonna get involved. So you got war where this is a high tense situation going on. It's important to watch. Stop worried about if you're going to get that big promotion at your job or not, huh? You know?
Right.
Hey, now's not the time to be saving up for that yacht. That round trip you want to travel the world. You want to go bird watching. The Lord not dealing with bird watchers, man. He's dealing with prophecy watchers. You know? I don't want to study today. I want to go bird watching. Well, hey, well, go ahead. Go do that. Right? See what happened to you. You know? Now, I'm not saying that I'm saying there's a time and place for everything. All right, Jake, you know Jake, man. But this Revelation,
bird watching rebuke me.
Yeah. See, the brother said we can't enjoy lives, man. They want us to be like this all day. Man, I can't stand WFI. Well, brother, come on, brother. We just mean, brother, get your priorities together and pay attention to the prophecies. All right. You always gotta clarify, in this thing, man.
It's simple.
Yeah, this Revelation chapter 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. Right? So it's important, man, to watch because the Lord is coming quickly. Like the brother Bangawa said, and I kind of mentioned that earlier. And it's true, you real men of the Lord, you got to kind of know a little bit of geopolitics, a little bit of foreign affairs, international diplomacy. Because you got to kind of know these prophecies. You got to know how the 10 horns moving, who's part of the 10 horns, who's allies with Russia, who's allies with Armenia. So you can kind of know these prophecies, man. All right. So the Lord is coming quickly, and his reward is the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you put out in this truth, if you on fire, if you diligent, if you waxing strong, if you steadfast, if you consistent, you're not taking days and weeks off, then you're going to get the kingdom of heaven. If you're taking days off and you lukewarm, you're going to be put to death. So ask yourself, are you lukewarm or are you on fire?
Yeah, I just did a cold cut on that too a couple hours ago. That's the spirit touching on Azerbaijan and Armenia. And Jake, there's no excuse to say this is the first time I heard of this. Because we did a cold cut 3 weeks ago touching on it.
Yeah, Yardan, he was on it. He was on it at the top of the mountain. You know? And with, is that it, brothers? Guys? Oh, we're going to begin to take questions too. Right? We'll take questions for about 70 minutes. Right? For those who do have questions, feel free to call in. For the we take questions. It's 213, like your 213-603-9096. And the PIN number is 94809-305. So again, you can call in if you have questions, 213-603-9096. And the PIN number, again, is 94809-305. All right, with that, Brother Naquan,
Brother Raya.
Brother Yardan.
Kwam Yashala, Shalom.